Okay, in regards to that, I used to have an issue like letting men lead, but I think if a man can lead properly and think about you with his decisions and lead with integrity like biblical men should, then I'm absolutely willing to let a man lead.
Yeah.
You're gonna let him lead.
And I don't do OnlyFans.
How nice of you to let him lead.
It is nice.
Yeah, it's very
You have
kind
a
of
choice.
Oh, Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, my name is Andrew Wilson. I'm the host of The Crucible. It's the fastest growing debate channel in my knowledge anywhere on the internet. Political satirist, political analyst, and I'm a blood sport debater. I often come on whatever podcast to talk to various people, oftentimes challenging worldviews. So I appreciate Brian having me on. I was scheduled for tonight. I'm here a little bit late because I had some family business to attend to.
Welcome.
Leading women and such.
What's up, Andrew?
Yep. But yeah, I think like the big misconception with like people or women hating on other women for being housewives, it's like they think that because you're a housewife that you can't do anything and that you're stuck and that you can't leave the house and that
they belittle you so much. And I feel like I'm doing the most important work by creating the next generation. And I wanted to be a teacher for the same reason. Like you're helping mold the minds of the next generation, and you really can't do anything more powerful than that.
Yeah, I agree.
You could by not having them.
I mean,
hard disagree.
That's like Idiocracy. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Hard disagree.
All the smart people stop having children, and all of the dumb people have more and more children.
I mean, that's literally
what's happening
been
right
the
now.
United States of America for the past 50 years.
I mean, that is true. Statistically, the higher educated are having children later in life or less so at all. But I'm pretty educated. I consider myself a major nerd. I named my kid Sagan after Carl Sagan, who is a physicist. And I spend a lot of my free time literally just reading things about psychology and statistics and philosophy. And when they roast my dating profile later, you'll see that, that intellect is the most important thing to me. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's my duty to have more children. And
you don't think we're
educated and
overpopulated?
stuff.
You don't think the world's overpopulated?
Sure, I do. And there's a debate on that. Like Elon Musk thinks
why bring more children into the world and then all the children that aren't being taken care of right now? What about all those?
There's a lot of people who are choosing not to have children anymore, to the point that it makes economists worried. So
more population means more money.
We need to, Nick, could you pull up the view count really quick? Guys, if you're watching, we have almost 10,000 people total watching. If you guys can, if you're watching on YouTube, drop us a like, please. Hit the like button. It helps out in the algorithm. And if you're watching over there on Twitch, Nick, if you can bring it to Twitch really quickly, guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow. Ooh, that was a fuck up. All right. Drop us a follow, guys, and a Prime sub if you have one. And I know we got a Prime like 2 minutes ago, but Nick is telling me that it's bugged or something. Like I don't know. So could somebody just like test out a Prime sub really quick and just see if like a Prime sub is going to come through, guys? If you're new on Twitch, we're not doing any ads on Twitch for the month of June. So guys, drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. I'm just testing out doing this no ad thing over there on Twitch, because the ad experience on Twitch is just kind of annoying, at least compared to you. There at Tartellen. Is it Tartellen? Tart Elon? I don't know. King Pews, thank you for the Prime. Ezra, thank you for the Prime. Tasco, thank you for the Prime. Kiwi Dutchman, thank you for the Prime. Jake Swan, thank you for the Prime subs. Appreciate it, guys. Biscuits of Rage, thank you for the Prime, dude. Good name, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, boys. Thank you. You can hide that, Nick. All right. Drop a like, guys. Andrew introduced himself?
Yes.
All right. My Caucasian. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome. So we're just getting through some of the pre-show notes for some of the guests. We have, let's see, still here on Alyssa. You said that you disagree on the OnlyFans stuff, but we already talked about the OnlyFans stuff. So, but you said most men don't care about OnlyFans and it doesn't hinder a woman from finding a partner. Hearing some of the arguments I made, do you have a change of opinion? Or
I mean, I still have the same opinion, just because, like I said earlier, like we're all literally the combination of billions of dependent variables that are based on our own unique nature and nurture. We can't like broadly say anything, but I
So-
agree with a lot of the things that you said.
So if I can admit, and this is actually my belief, that there is some degree of cope when it comes to, oh, these OnlyFans women, they're just going to be forever alone. They're going to be lonely. They're going to have cats. They're never going to find a man. If I can admit that that's bullshit, are you able to admit that by virtue of woman having an OnlyFans or being a sex worker, that she's going to close the door on a lot of men?
Sure. Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of men are not going to be okay with it.
And I would even say like, and then again, I'm a libertarian, so I don't give a fuck what other adults do as long as it doesn't harm anyone. But I wouldn't want to be with a man who was supportive of it.
You wouldn't want to be a man who's supportive of.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Okay. Well, we already had the conversation, so we won't linger too long on the OF
You're a
stuff.
libertarian?
I am. If I was going to categorize it, yes. Like I have views from both sides, but for the most, like for myself, I probably have more like based views, but I just feel like other people should, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, do what the fuck you want.
So you're a harm reductionist libertarian?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So, I mean, I do have to ask then. I'm going to try to frame this correctly for the TOS, but if a brother were to have carnal relations with their sister, what would your objection be to that as a libertarian?
I feel like it is a harm because when it comes to reproductive issues,
They can't reproduce, let's say.
I mean, it's against the law. I think they should.
That's not, so what?
So are
You
we
have laws all
having
the
a
time that are-
philosophical thing? Philosophically, I don't give a fuck. That doesn't have anything to do with me. But within the parameters of our current society and law, then obviously they shouldn't do that. I don't fucking condone it, but I mean, whatever.
Why not? Why not condone it if there's no harm?
I'm not
Why
gonna
is-
fuck
what's
my
the foul?
brother. I'm not gonna fuck my brother. You know?
I get it,
So I'm
but
saying for
but
me,
you're
I
a
would-
harm reductionist, right?
Yeah.
So if there's no actual harm to reduce, you can't really say anything about
right,
it
but
being
how can you
moral
how can you apply that broadly though? Because you can't say that every brother and
You
sister
can apply
wouldn't
it
be able
broadly
to.
right now because people get arrested for doing it because it's considered immoral.
Right, but you said in the instance that they can't reproduce. So you can't like broadly apply a standard because most of them would be able to reproduce.
Well, you can. What if they were same sex?
I mean, I don't give a fuck if a sister wants to
Right,
fuck
you
her
don't
sister.
care, right? So your harm reduction is that you just don't care about
What other people
things
do.
like incest. You don't
Like,
care about
for the-
probably things like necrophilia. You probably don't care about any of those
Well,
things because there's no provable harm.
You could absolutely say that necrophilia causes harm.
Oh yeah, tell me how.
It causes harm to the family members of the body.
What if they have no family members, or will their body to do it?
It
It's-
causes harm.
The body can't consent to it, so it's a.
No, you can consent to it before you die.
It causes harm because of the
If
potential
you listen,
exposure
if you
to
write
flesh
up
Hold
a
on.
will-
Let her finish, let her finish.
If you write up a will and you say, "I don't care if somebody sleeps with my corpse," then like whatever,
Then you don't care,
I
right?
don't care.
Yeah,
I
that's why
personally do not care.
libertarianism is stupid and leads to all sorts of immoral
I mean, whatever you
conclusions.
say.
'Cause
For the most, it's hard to like really quantify my political views, but for the most part, I'm in favor of the government being less involved in whatever extent is possible. Obviously, it needs to be involved for certain things, but
Mhm.
like I don't give a fuck if gay people want
Yeah,
to
you don't
marry.
care. Yeah, you don't care. You don't care. I know you don't care about
Genuinely
incest. You don't care about necrophilia. You don't care about anything. Your harm reductionist values are as immoral and degenerate as you can possibly imagine. That's why we're not a libertarian
But I'm
nation.
not-
we're not a libertarian
the one
nation because
doing the
all
immoral
roads lead
shit.
to degeneracy. That's
Can you argue though that necrophilia is harmful because
Stacy for Senate donated $200. In Nevada, abortion has been legally protected up until 24 months.
Jesus
Can
Christ.
we admit that at least by 24 weeks you've had enough time to decide to have an abortion or not? What say
Yeah.
ye ladies?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it. What say you, ladies?
I think it's crazy to do it that late.
24 months.
No, 24 months. He's 2 years
24
old.
weeks.
Oh.
I said 24 weeks.
Well, it says 24 months, so.
Wait,
This literally says.
Maddie, can you read this?
I said weeks on the
Women
second part.
nowadays refuse to accept responsibility for their actions. My wife let me and our 2 toddlers so that she can, quote unquote, have fun. Modern feminism has ruined the best attributes of a good woman.
I agree.
Newly single dad, thank you for the chat, man. Sorry to hear about the breakup of your family there. Fortunate. She wanted to have fun. Perfect
That's-
justification and pretext for breaking up a marriage with 2 toddlers. Just a wonderful reason. Sorry to hear that, man, though. And going back to your notes here, so you also disagree on, you don't think fat women are inherently less valuable because everyone's got a type and some people's type is fat bitches.
100%. So my cousin will only date fat girls. That's his type. It's what he likes. He has curved, beautiful, skinny women. So like, you know, it could be your standard and it would be my
Do you
standard.
think it's most men's standard?
Sure. But there's definitely a good portion of them that like
yeah,
big
there's
girls.
enough out there, I suppose, if you have a big enough population. But you're saying when it comes to this value conversation, so I don't think we're talking about like their value as a human being. We're talking about their value in the dating and sexual marketplace.
Yeah,
Is that
for sure.
is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
there are some guys that place value on that. That is what they are sexually attracted to specifically.
But so if we're talking about less valuable, more valuable, let's say there's a greater proportion of men who value women who are fit
Sure.
or who are thin. And while there are some men who will value an obese woman, that tends to be less than men who value thin, fit women. So couldn't you just make the argument then that they are less valuable in the dating marketplace?
I guess if we're doing statistics, yes. Like, but then it should be clarified in that way. Like, to most men, they're going to be less valuable. But there's always going to be.
Well, I
somebody
don't
that's
think
into
anybody
anything.
ever really makes the argument that
I
man.
don't understand. Aren't you a laissez-faire libertarian?
That would be your assessment.
Are you a laissez-faire libertarian?
Give me a specific example. And what?
Do you believe in the economic model of laissez-faire economics? So like anarcho-capitalism, something
No.
like this.
No,
Well, what sort of economic model do you ascribe to?
I support capitalism.
Okay, so capitalism. So just take basic capitalism, supply and demand, right?
Yes.
Do you think that there's more men or less men demanding fat women?
I mean, like, we would have to take a poll, but my assumption is that there would be less women into it, obviously.
Okay, so
But I'm just saying we can't make broad
So wait, if
statements
there's
for
less
everyone.
demand for something inside of your economic theory, then it's less valuable, right?
Yeah, in that
Okay, so then
context,
they're less
yeah.
valuable. Glad we got that cleared up.
I mean, fair. But that's not how it was like laid out when I was listening to some of them. It seemed like a fat woman is not valuable. But if you can say she's less valuable in the dating market, yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, if we're having a conversation about dating, that is the context. And me and Andrew tend to make sort of these disclaimers when we're talking about value. We're not talking about your value as a human being, as a person, but we are typically specifically talking about in the dating marketplace.
Yeah, but even within that, there's still going to be some guys. But
Right,
that's the only point that I was making.
I don't think we disagree there. Andrew,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sure you'd agree that we don't disagree that there will be men who find obese women attractive.
Yeah, right. We're just talking about some basic supply and demand. So just like any marketplace, the dating marketplace would be a marketplace, right? Just it's no different than an electronics marketplace, a tobacco marketplace, whatever it is. The higher the demand for something, right?
Yeah, I fully
Usually it's
agree.
more valuable because more people demand it. So this would be the same thing when you're talking about types of women, this type of thing.
Yeah,
You
that's
would
fair.
agree to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.